you must have a good camera. Hell, that's a phrase that photographers don't like. It's not the camera that took this photo, it was me. I know the phrase is not meant to in any way offend somebody. And in this day and age, it's very easy to take offence, and whilst I desperately try not to, depending on your state of mind, it can be difficult. But yeah, it's not the camera that took this photo, or this photo, or even this. Yeah, it was me. The camera, I used a tool. Nobody walks up to a mechanic that's just fixed their car and said, "Oh, you must have a good screwdriver." Doesn't happen, does it? Nobody walks up to an architect and say, "Oh, you must have a good pencil. Bet that drawing board's good." Nobody walks up to a surgeon and says, "I bet you've got a good scalpel." When I was a kid, years and years ago, I used to do a little bit of fishing when I went on holiday with my family. And I always wanted to get a new reel or a new rod or something. Just because it was new, you know. We like new things, don't we? We're going to need to stop liking new things before too long, because no one's going to be able to afford to live. But back then, I wanted a new reel or a new rod or a new something, a new float. I loved floats. And my dad used to tell me, you can have all the new stuff or the best stuff in the world, it won't make you a better fisherman. And he was right, that was crap. And it's the same with the camera. As years have gone on, I've got better cameras. But if truth be known, I could get decent photographs with the Osmo Pocket that you're watching me on now. Well, obviously you're not watching me on the Osmo Pocket, you're watching me on a tablet screen or a computer screen or a phone. You're not watching me on the Osmo Pocket, but I'm recording them. You know what I'm talking about. And I could get good photos with this tiny little thing in my hand, or my phone. But they wouldn't be as good as that, because you know, all the lenses and all this stuff. I think you know what I'm saying. It's one of those things that kind of gets occasionally said to us when we deliver a wow photo. Perhaps the wow photo of this pillbox. That sun is very low. I know there's a shadow here. I'm sorry. There's a pillbox over here, which I managed to get a nice shot of a few weeks ago on this beach, when we had some interest in this sky up here, rather than just this lovely azure blue. I can't knock the sky. It's beautiful, but there is not. Nowhere is there a cloud in the sky. Anyway, quite breezy it was, and some cloud in the sky, got some lovely movement on. Anyway, have a look at the shot a couple of weeks ago from this point. So yeah, I came back to the beach in the hope I might get something a little, I don't know, different from the beach that I have almost down the end of my garden at the moment. And if I'm honest, yeah, I'm a little underwhelmed. A lot of that's down to my depression, I know. I really have struggled to get out over the last few days. In actual fact, it's Thursday evening now, and I don't think I've actually left the house since Monday. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. In actual fact, for 3 days, I've done nothing. I'm struggling. Not your problem, but yeah. For anybody else out there that's really kind of finding this hard, yeah, I get you. Yeah, you have my sympathy. Anyway, because the sky is, well, just a blank canvas of colour, and mostly one colour, I've done nothing with it. But now as the sun's dipping, we're getting, don't really see it, beautiful umber over there. I mean, it is very stunning, going from a really kind of grey blue into orangey pink up to a yellow and then into blue up the top there. It is, I like it a lot, and I do have a bit of a subject. I've got a fisherman, a beach fisherman here, and of course we've got the pillbox as well, although I'm kind of struggling to get all of these things in because there's quite a bit of separation between him and the pillbox, so getting the pillbox perhaps as foreground and him as a subject might be challenging, I don't know. But where I am here, I just looked at the colour coming in, because these grasses over here were, in fact they still are picking up quite a lot of this beautiful sunset colour coming down. I found one to focus on. I took the aperture right the way down to f3.5, the long lens on, and just one bottom third of a portrait format image, and in the back of the camera it looks quite good. I often manage to miss focus on these, and I don't quite give it enough depth of field, so I hope technically this is okay. I've got one or two different apertures, so let's see what this is like, and yeah, if it's come out, here it is. Now, it's not often I choose to show you both the edited image and the raw image before I've done any editing. I'm doing so here because the raw image itself isn't what I was expecting out of the back of the camera. This is because the relatively small screen on a camera really can belie a number of problems in an image, and a lot of what I shoot in terms of detail kind of sometimes gets lost as you compress the image down. And the original grass seed head here was completely lost in the background. Whilst it's in focus and the rest of it isn't, there's hardly any colour definition between the two, and it's totally lost to the eye. So I've had to do a reasonable amount of work to kind of pull that back to see what I thought I was seeing in the viewfinder. I think the result is quite pleasing. Far from perfect, but I'm not dissatisfied with it. Let me know what you think. Right, well, I came down a little, and the colour's gorgeous. Someone has come inadvertently posed on the pillbox for me, as you may be able to see there. Truthfully, I don't know whether she wants to be in my photo, but I'm not that concerned in asking, because I think she works well. Just run off a few here, because we've got the fisherman in the back. Damn, he's packing up. I hadn't spotted that, but he's still there. So this is all about colour. It's all about the position of a few things, and I'm working faster than I should, because, you know, light's disappearing. I mean, yeah, if you look behind me, if you can see that sun, it's disappearing very fast, as it tends to do. So, you know, I'm not getting the separation here that I want. I really ought to frame this up a little better. So I've pushed the ISO up rather more 800 here, just to get this. Oh, now I've got other people walking into the shot as well. Now it's arguably getting too busy. See if I can zoom them out. Just about, but I have to be careful with the focus. Dog running. One of the problems of working with animals and people. Well, not working with, but working around. Anyway, look, I'm waffling that a little bit here. That light is still pretty amazing. You can see it shining off the windows of the pier down there at the back. It's glorious. Wonderful time. Let's turn ourselves around and just see. Just a good gratuitous sunset shot. Well, it's nothing. It's colour, you know. Truthfully, I don't know why I'm shooting it. This is one of the problems this time of night. yeah, your opportunity of getting shots disappears quickly. In front of me, I've got, just see him there, someone walking his dog and fishing at the same time. Actually, it's really nice because the man and the dog are both looking out. They're just about on the third lines themselves. Our dog's moved. That's a shame because the first shot was very much of them just looking kind of straight out to sea. Yeah, both appearing to stare at the same thing. Not that there was anything to stare at. Yeah, I'm sorry, I ran out of steam and I ran out of light. I realised that the photos in this video aren't that great. The ones that are good were shot at different times, some at this beach, some in other places. The shot with the grass, I like the grass. I managed to edit that in a way that I think is quite pleasing. It's not a portfolio shot, and I can't pretend that I can get portfolio shots on every shoot, or indeed every 5th shoot, perhaps even every 10th shoot. We make mistakes and we misuse our tools. And the camera's a tool, and you must never, ever forget this. It's you that's taking the photo, and you're using the camera to do that. It's nothing more than that. Don't ever get into this mindset that you must have a better camera to take better photos. In the same way as a child, I thought that perhaps having better fishing equipment would have let me catch more fish, and it didn't. Being able to see photos is all about practice. Some people can see photos naturally, but most can't. Most have to train themselves or be trained. And in part, that's possibly why you're watching the video. Don't get disheartened when you come back from a shoot with nothing much that's worthwhile. And this is exactly what happened with the grass shot. And I have to really emphasise this and drill this home, is that the screen on the back of your camera is small. I mean, it's what, a few inches wide. And it doesn't always tell the truth. That is, yeah, it's displaying a reasonable facsimile or a true facsimile of what the lens is putting through to the sensor. But things can be so small that you simply miss them. And often it's better to use the viewfinder. But again, easy to miss things in a viewfinder or just not quite see the way that things flow, or the definition, as in the case with this grass, the separation that we're able to get from the grass stem from the background, because of course it's relatively close, but I'm using a relatively wide open aperture. I think it was f3.5 on that, but on a micro four thirds sensor we don't get as great a bokeh effect or a soft focus effect at lower apertures than we would on, say, a full frame or a medium format, and all of these things need to be taken into account. So the post-processing really is where that came into its own, and everybody post-processes photos somewhere down the line, or if you're one of these purists, let me tell you, every photo is edited, and there's a video up here about that. The point really is that the camera's a tool, and yes, I do have a good camera, but that's not what's allowing me to take good photos. It might make them better than they would have been with a lesser camera, but not by enough to make the difference. Now, if you want to see some dead good photos, check out this video while you're waiting for me to put the next one up. See you soon.